XII 12 News. This is special coverage of the coronavirus impact.
First at 5, more than 1,000 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in the Triad. They account for more than a tenth of the total number of cases in the state, which topped 9,000 today. And for the first time, the state is releasing the names of facilities with outbreaks. In the Triad, the largest outbreaks at Alston Brook Nursing Home in Lexington. 41 people there have tested positive and 2 people have died. In Guilford County, Rudd Strawberry Farm is reporting 8 cases and is currently closed. 6 people have a confirmed case of the virus at Claps Nursing Center, and another 6 are sick at Camden Health and Rehab. 5 people are positive at Vera Springs at Heritage Greens, which is an assisted living center. In Stokes County, 2 people tested positive at Village Care of King Nursing Home. Also new this evening, more counties are reporting the number of people beating the virus. Right now, we know of 370 people who have recovered in 8 counties in the Triad. Across the state, 312 people have died because of COVID-19. 43 of them called the Triad their home. Guilford County school leaders met digitally today. They talked about changes to the proposed budget for the next school year. With so much in the air regarding the COVID-19 outbreak, district leaders say there are a lot of questions that still need answering before they can finalize a budget plan. Our Leanne Dinier listened to today's discussion. She joins us now. Leanne, what were the big takeaways?
Well, they certainly covered a lot of ground, and the Guilford County Superintendent, Dr. Sharon Contreras, took questions and heard from the board about their concerns regarding COVID-19 and how it's going to impact the proposed budget for the 2020-2021 school year. She says what's complicating putting this together is the confusion over who's going to pay for what when students go back, when that reentry process does get started. We haven't heard when that will happen just yet, but they did meet this afternoon virtually, district leaders meeting by video conference to discuss some changes to the budget that's being proposed. The district chief financial officer, Angie Henry, saying that changes are coming in after developments at the district and county levels since the budget was last presented. And with so much up in the air about what school is going to look like when kids go back, there are some things that are still hard to gauge at this point, and that does include the number of families who will rely on the district for childcare.
The other thing with childcare is we don't know to the extent that what school will look like or the extent to which parents will even request childcare next year. So that's why you see some slight reduction in the ACEs amount, but we have no sense yet of what the school day will look like for the 2021 school year.
So they said there's still a lot that they need to figure out, but the board is set to hear feedback on these changes on the proposed budget at its Thursday meeting. A vote is expected to take place on May 12th, and state law actually requires that they present the budget to the Board of Commissioners by May 15th. Back to you.
Good information, Leanne. Thank you. The briefing from the White House Coronavirus Task Force is canceled for today, but we are expecting to hear from the president. He'll reportedly issue new testing guidance and more information about safely opening the country. Earlier this afternoon, President Trump gave props to some companies who are helping to increase testing across the country. We're bringing the president's briefing live as soon as he begins speaking. The city of Greensboro is partnering with Cone Health and the United Way of Greater Greensboro to give out free face coverings. Starting Wednesday, city residents can pick them up at 2 locations. The Melvin Municipal Office Building at 300 West Washington Street on Mondays through Fridays from 10 to 3. And also at the United Way of Greater Greensboro on 1500 Yanceyville Street. You can get a covering there on Wednesdays only from 10 to 3. You can pick up 1 face covering from each member of your household while supplies last. The city says the Joseph M. Bryan Foundation is funding this initiative. Well, aside from the health component of this, a lot of people are struggling financially right now, and there's a group in Forsyth County that wants to help. Let's go to Kenny Beck. He joins us continuing to work from home tonight with those details. Kenny, a lot of people could really just use a hand.
They sure could, Brianna, and that's what this new fund is all about. It's called the Grassroots Grants COVID-19 Response Fund. The idea is, and I'll go into the specifics here in a moment, but it's designed to help out pockets of people in various neighborhoods throughout Forsyth County who might, because of all of this, be experiencing similar issues right now. I spoke with the executive director earlier today of the organization that's overseeing this new fund. The director of that group is named Latoya Robinson. She's with Neighbors for Better Neighborhoods out of Winston-Salem. She tells me primarily these grants go toward things like food, healthcare, housing, and assistance for older adults. You have to be a Forsyth County resident. There are income qualifications, and at least 3 people from the same neighborhood have to apply as a group with a common problem. Here's an example.
You have a group of residents that may have lost their job and are unable to get some supplies, then three or more of you can get together and apply as a neighborhood group for $1,000 to be able to either get gas cards to get to and from grocery stores, maybe come up with a list of some toiletries or other immediate needs that would benefit that particular community.
And this program runs through the end of next month. Several dozen groups have already applied for money, and some of them have already been approved for money. We have a link on how you can learn a little bit more about this program and apply yourself. If you meet these qualifications, it's going to be on our website in just a moment, WXII12.com. Brianna?
Thank you, Kenny. The state is extending phone hours and adding more staff to help the thousands of North Carolinians who are still trying to file for unemployment. DES has gotten an average of 80,000 calls a day since the middle of March. The Division of Employment Security says it's received more than 733,000 applications since March 15th. 628,000, or more than 85% of those, are related to COVID-19. So far, the state's paid more than 288,000 claims, totaling more than $652 million. The coronavirus is putting the state government in an uncertain financial situation. Lawmakers are going to be back in Raleigh tomorrow to try and find a solution. They're going to look at how to divvy up $1.4 billion in federal coronavirus relief funding. Governor Roy Cooper proposes spending $75 million to expand testing and tracing and to get more personal protective equipment so North Carolina could start to reopen. Protesters will probably greet lawmakers when they get back to work. They are pressuring the governor to relax his stay-at-home order. This is video from their protest last Tuesday in Raleigh. The group Reopen NC says struggling businesses want to get back to work and that the economic toll of the stay-at-home order, they believe, outweighs public health benefits. Last week, Governor Cooper extended the stay-at-home order, which now runs through May 8th. Forsyth County's Hall of Justice is going to be back open tomorrow. An employee tested positive for COVID-19, so a judge ordered the building to shut down last week. It was supposed to stay closed until May 4th, but the county tells us the building has been sanitized. The Forsyth County Clerk of Court's bookkeeping department will remain closed until May 4th. The U.S. Census Bureau wants more time to finish its count because of the coronavirus. It could delay the process of drawing new legislative districts and some primary elections. The Census Bureau wants to move the deadline from the end of March next year to the end of July 2021. Congress would need to approve the delay. President Trump is getting ready to announce new testing guidance and steps for reopening the economy. The Rose Garden announcement is expected around 5:30 this evening, and it comes at the same time as more states have started relaxing their restrictions. Our Sally Kids in Washington with this report.
Brianna, the White House says the president is pivoting to focus more on rebooting the economy as more states move ahead at their own pace. President Trump eager to reopen America, offering up a new testing blueprint for states. It includes a focus on surveillance testing and rapid response plans to isolate those who test positive for COVID-19.
Together, we're accelerating testing for Americans at retail locations across the country, and especially in our African American and Hispanic communities.
This as the CDC draws up sector-specific reopening guidelines, while across the country,
thank you, you guys come back and see us.
At least half a dozen states are gradually restarting their economies this week. In Georgia, restaurants and theaters began reopening today, following other businesses on Friday. Colorado, Tennessee, and Montana also among those rescinding their orders. This despite concerns that relaxing physical distancing too quickly could lead to a spike in cases.
We got to be mindful. This thing is nothing to play with. You have to continue to stay home until we say otherwise. I know it's frustrating.
Ohio's governor outlining a phased reopening plan for May.
We've got to get moving. We've got to get people back to work. We've got to open things up.
Other states holding off on setting a timeline.
We are in the process of establishing a plan.
Phase one is a baby step. I mean, we are deliberately going to be very methodical, slow.
Well, the Trump administration says its goal is to have significant testing capacity in place by fall, when we could see that second wave of infections and when flu season is just beginning to ramp up. In Washington, Sally Kidd, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Sally. White House aides say plans are in the works for a limited travel schedule for the president as the nation begins to reopen.